Nigeria has been the giant of Africa for years, but they keep stumbling. It is no hidden news that our small linked neighbors, Burkina Faso, are making great moves in the continent. Welcome to Solid Finance Podcast and it's Finance with Abbas. On today's episode, we'll be looking at the rise of Ibrahim Traore. We're going to be looking at his wins and his vision to make Burkina Faso one of the most beautiful and the most visited place in Africa. But before I continue, do well to like, do well to share, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Solid Finance Podcast, for more finance contents from us. Let's dive right in. For decades, the West Africa has had one undisputed king, Nigeria. But there has been a new player in the hearts of the Sahel, a 37-year-old, the head of states for Burkina Faso. He is tearing the old laws and building new ones to make Burkina Faso a better place for their citizens. While the giants of Africa are battling inflation and currency shock, Burkina Faso, on the other hand, is building, and mind you, they're not building with borrowed loans from foreign country. They are building by themselves. They are building from their sweat and from their strength. The head of state, Ibrahim Traore, is also building massive projects which is going to enable citizens of Burkina Faso who are homeless to have homes and places to lay their heads. He has also promised free buses for students who are willing and are ready to go to school. At 37 years old, Ibrahim Traore is the youngest head of state to ever rule. We all know that most presidents in African countries are either in their 50s or their 60s. So for a youth who is in his 30s to be ruling a country, you should be ready and willing to see innovation and creativity in that country. He took power in September 2022 and he has promised to reclaim their dignity and also fix their economic problems. What do you know, or what do you think about Ibrahim Traore? Let's watch this video.
The world needs to pay attention to who this man is, because he is inspiring an African revolution against the West right now. This is 37-year-old Ibrahim Traore. He is the second youngest head of state in the world right now, and what his supporters say he represents is African independence. There are reports that he has survived 19 assassination attempts in 2 years.
He has survived 19 assassination attempts in just 2 years. That's crazy. Now, most of you will be like, oh, he's a dictator, oh, this, oh, that. But this is a man who is trying to better his country and the economy of his country. The head of state, Ibrahim Traore, has placed great importance on education and as such has urged every citizen of his country to go to school without having to complain, as he has given free buses and scholarship to most of his citizens. He has also encouraged his citizens who want to further their studies abroad that once they are done with their studies, they should come back to their homeland to serve. They should not serve in another man's land. He also added that children from the age of 3 should be included in science and mechanics. Let's watch the video.
But regarding your commitment to your homeland, from now on, you should not seek scholarships just to go serve another country. You must come back to serve your homeland, no matter the circumstances. From the age of 3, we need to start getting our children interested in science and mechanics.
Having watched that video, I would like us to take some comments from the comment section. Soul of Humanity says, the wisest and the best leader in the world right now, Captain Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso. Vicky Gisma Tamulu says, thanks so much. God bless our communities, members, children. Amshati says, this man is very talented. I think she meant to say he's very talented and educates more than all African people. African presidents, thank you for Abraham's material. Beautiful this. Whatever that means. Musu Kaloko says, long time before we were born, the plant is on books and we left it in books without seeing it. Mama Rose for Jesus says, well done, President Ibrahim Traore. African says, thanks, the president. I wish I could be in your country. We can all see that President Ibrahim Traore is trying to better the lives of his citizens from the age of 3. They should include children in sciences and mechanics so that before they grow to the age of 15, they're already used to the terms of sciences and the terms of mechanics, making them sound intellectually. Most of the citizens of Burkina Faso are so happy with the head of state, Ibrahim Traore, as he has provided buses to help transport these children from wherever they are to schools. I don't mean anyhow kind of bus. I'm talking about a bus that has air conditioner, no payment, free buses. Just get registered in your school and you have the license to enter into the bus. Let's watch the video from Belinda Dai.
Okay, so this is one of the great things that he's been doing for the people of Burkina Faso. So these buses you can see right behind me, there are so many of them newly bought buses that he has brought over here to Ouagadougou to help students transit to school safely, smoothly, for free.
After watching that video, you would think that everybody's happy with this man until you read the comments. I'll start. Martin says, if he's so respected, why has he not held a presidential election since he seized power by force? Another person replies him saying, if that is what dictatorship is, better we go with it than democracy, which is full of corruptions. That is so funny. Abba Joram says, as long as the country still faces insecurity, all that is nothing. Paul Vara says, how can you be happy with a dictator? Len N says, the West are the dictators. Are the West really the dictators? Let's continue. Shuk Torah Global Limited says, Nigeria is doing the same thing. African giants. Are we doing the same thing in Nigeria? I don't think so. We don't practice a one-man law. It's democracy. Even if a democracy does not carry everybody along, but it's democracy that they're practicing here in Nigeria. Kamukek, aka Florian Witt, says, I am very sure our president M7 is going to do the same because we also manufacture our own buses here. Okay. Laurel Kingston says, God bless the president. Another person says, we need more videos in English language from Burkina Faso. What are people trying to say? That they can't speak English. The girl literally spoke English from beginning of that video to the end. It's just the guy that spoke a little French. She replies the person saying, of course we will. Not just that. He did not only invest in the education sector, he has also built massive buildings for those who are less privileged and those who are homeless that are from and are living in Burkina Faso. Let's look at what the buildings look like.
These buildings when you see for years, so now the Ibrahim Traore now build all this building under 2 years when he take the power. Now he take build all these buildings. So now he build all these houses for the less privileged and the rest. They not they pay rent for all these houses when he build for years. So he just build them for the less privileged of Burkina Faso.
I'd like to take the first 5 comments. The first person says, does Ibrahim Traore know about this building? What's the person trying to say? Is he a lie? Because I've seen several videos about this building and it's being given to those who are less privileged. Traore is a true example of a good leader. Another person say, Oyibo wise well. If not their people, na them go like raise them. Once we lose better people in Africa, nothing we gain. So let's protect what we have. And I say, how far? Talk about our country. And I say, for 2 years, you can't build this. It's not possible. Who be this? Does this look like AI to you or is it magic? Now, some people are still doubting that Ibrahim Traore can build that mansion in just 2 years. Now, for someone who is very determined, someone who is very diligent, and someone who loves his country, it can be done. Just so you know. That brings us to the next thing. Despite the fact that he's a military man and all of that, people would think that he's a very stiff person, he's very strong, he's very rude, he's not friendly, but he's very caring and diligent. A video surfaced the internet of him going to see those who clean the country. He went to appreciate their services to the nation. I would like you and I to watch that video.
Bonjour. Comment vous allez? Merci. Yika lafi. Zakramba. Comme tu es. Yam yika lafi. Thank you, mama. Ah, d'accord.
Now, I would like us to look at the comments. The first person here says, imagine all African presidents like this, young, black, and proud. Did you get that? Imagine a young man who knows what to do. How better African countries will look. Second person here says, God protect Ibrahim Traore. The third person here says, the man with God and honest heart. Mama Sisi say, they call him President of Burkina Faso. We call him the President of Africa because all Africans love him. Another person here says, he's speaking French. The same French that he banned. A person replies him, he says, that's not French. He's speaking Mosi. Why is he always wearing camouflage? He says he's a soldier and not a politician, and as such he should be wearing his regalia, he should be wearing his uniform 247. You see it here in Nigeria, you see it there in your country. You won't see an army man wearing anyhow clothes outside. He would always flag his camouflage. Another person here says, why is this guy always wearing military outfit? I've already answered that. A person here gives a very funny comment. He says, because he's not stealing to buy suits, and as such he's wearing his camouflage. Another person here says, South Africa needs a young man like him that is rich, coming from South Africans. Under his regime, he has also promised to build the longest highway in Burkina Faso. Mind you, he doesn't want any loan from any foreign country. He has promised that they are going to build it on their own, with their own goods and their own workers. Let's watch the level at which the highway in Burkina Faso is at the moment.
Traoré said he'd build Burkina Faso's longest highway without foreign loans, and everyone laughed until the bulldozers started moving. December 15th, 2025. Project launched. January 2026. Over 70% of land clearing done. That's 232 kilometers out of 332.
I'd like us to look at the comment section. Awala Pondistan says, that's what Ghana is doing now. We're using our resources as a collateral for development. Another person here says, may God protect Ibrahim Traore. Ken Ender says, the one and only best president of the world, Ibrahim Traore, we love you. Another one here says, there is one road I know in South Africa. They started that road before COVID. Until now, it is not finished. That's so sad for South Africans. Another person here says, and the West hate this. They hate Africa's progression. While he says he is the greatest, a man with a vision. X-Rule says, my God bless Africa and its people. H Global says, all African countries should learn from Burkina Faso. This is something that other countries should emulate, because if we keep waiting for foreigners to come and build our roads, build our hospitals, build our highways, we might wait till eternity, because as they are here building for us, they are also trying to develop their own countries. The president of Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traore, has taken it upon himself to make sure that they have the longest highway in Africa, the one that links to the Atlantic Ocean. Good news, good news, good news, good news everywhere for Burkina Faso. They're trying to show the other parts of the world that they are ready for greatness. They're trying to show other African countries that we can be great on our own. They've gone as far as buying all Total Energy fuel stations from France owners, and they've changed the name of all those fuel stations to Baka Energies. That is a blessed energy. It's now theirs. They've bought it off from all those France and they're taking it for themselves. A video surfaced from a TikToker, and I would like us to watch that video.
Burkina Faso businessman has bought all the Total Energies, all the petrol station belonging to Total Energies in Burkina Faso. And today they have changed the name of all the Total Energies in Burkina Faso to Baraka Energies.
I'd like us to look at the comment section. Total is part of the reason why Nigeria doesn't own its own oil reserves anymore. African says, great news. Baraka means blessing in many West African countries. As well, those who speak Bambara, Madinka, and a few other dialects to Bambara, even in Bantu, is also known as blessings. JMO says, when in Kenya, they are selling all government companies to foreigners. That's very sad. And another person here says, it's Baraka, not Baraka, very different. That's your dialect. Firm says, we Burkina, we are so proud. Next to another. Bamba says, the word Baraka is in many languages. Dangbani, the Dangoma people in Ghana, Moshe people in Burkina, Arabic language and Hausa, so it's not a Swahili word alone. So take notes. Now, for the growth gap between Nigeria and Burkina Faso, you would not even think that Burkina Faso can run at that pace, can move fast at that pace to be trying to overtake Nigeria. But the thing is, inflation rate in Nigeria is very high and the inflation rate in Burkina Faso is very low. Emphasis on very low. The inflation rate is low because they're literally producing everything now in Burkina Faso, from their foodstuffs to their schools. Everything in Burkina Faso is done by a Burkinde, so they don't have to purchase from other countries, which makes them save more. The population in Nigeria is over 230 million, while the population in Burkina Faso is 24.6 million. The GDP in Nigeria for 2026 is projected to be 334 billion to about 362 billion this year, while in Burkina Faso, the GDP is projected to be $30.7 billion. For a country who has a population of 24.6 million people, the GDP is doing well. GDP per capita for Burkina Faso 2026, the first half of the year, is projected to be $1,245, while for Nigeria is projected to be $2,900. Nigeria's growth is tied to volatile global oil prices. That is, if the price of oil goes up, our economy is prone to grow higher. But if the price of fuel goes down, our economy is surely going to go down. That is, our economy is fluctuating because we depend solely on oil, and we're still hoping to diversify into other means of our economy. Let's look at Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso has nationalized their gold, meaning that they have built their own refinery. And their refinery that they have built is meant to process 150 tons of gold annually. Now, this is great news for them. Before Dangote's refinery came to existence, when we produce our crude oil, it is being exported to other countries to produce fuel, and we buy the fuel back from them. Now, that's almost what was happening to Burkina Faso until they built their refineries. Now, they don't have to send it out for them to process and bring it back to them and all those back and forth. It is found there, it is refined there, and it is sold to help their economy grow higher. That's why the price of oil can also affect the economy of Nigeria. Even with the fact that Ibrahim Traore is trying to make his country a better place, most people are very bitter and are not happy with him as he's not practicing democracy. And there's been a spread of rumor that he is a dictator as he's not airing any TV news, as he's not going for any interviews. He has given his law, and his law is key. Meanwhile, others are standing by him and are praising what he's practicing. We're going to watch two videos. A video that is saying that he should practice democracy if he thinks that the people who live in Burkina Faso love him so much.
Look at their poster child that they keep celebrating in Burkina. He's just a dictator, just like all of them. What's the poster, all of the one they celebrating? Traore. He's just a dictator like all of them.
This man just said Ibrahim Traore is the problem of Burkina Faso.
I want you to answer this in the comment section. Do you think Ibrahim Traore is the problem of Burkina Faso, or do you think he's the breakthrough Burkina Faso needed to be able to be free and to stand out amongst other African countries? The man even goes as far as calling him a poster child, someone who has done great change in his country in just 2 years. Now, let's move on to the next one. This man is not even joking with the lives of the citizens, and as such, he has collaborated with Chinese people to build 2 hospitals for his country. Let's watch this.
The revolutionary African state of Burkina Faso has opened 2 huge new medical facilities this week with the help of China. These new state-of-the-art facilities show exactly the type of relationship that every single African nation should hold with sovereign mutual allies.
I'd like us to take some comments from this particular video. The first one said, United States of Africa. What they say is, I believe it because now that France no longer gets their African resources, Burkina Faso actually uses its nationalized resources for its people. But here in South Africa, our leaders use our tax to buy blue Lambos and mansions. That one says, why does this look like AI? Ibrahim Traore is a legend and a true hero. That one says, we love you, brother. The other one says, may God bless him and keep him safe. Say Masha Allah. Tool House Co says, the man of action. This man is not even joking with the growth and the development of his country. He's not even looking at the fact that he's young or that he's not experienced. He has put it upon himself to make sure that he makes his country a better place. Leadership is not about the size of your GDP. It is about the growth of your economy, and it's about the speed of your progress. As Nigerians are still the giants of Africa, Burkina Faso is that slim, small engine that refuses to give up. They might be the small players, but they're about to set the pace straight. If you've watched up until this point, do well to like, do well to share, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Solid Finance Podcast, for more finance contents from us. Until next time, bye for now.